Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Ace and I got some more Guild Wars 2 content here for you. As you can see, we are currently fighting another giant dragon, a giant ice dragon, also known to be the Claw of Jormag. And if you are willing to fight this dragon as well, you can find him in the Frostcourt Sound, which is a level 70 to 80 area. And this is a world boss that I actually found to be interesting. I figured it was kind of the same deal as with the Shatterer and of course the Sunless, which in my opinion were a bit of a joke, but it might have something to do with of course the level and such. Maybe because they were a warm-up world boss, somewhat, if you know what I mean with that. Because the Shatterer was just nothing but tank and spank. Not that tanking and spanking is an actual thing in this game, but it was pretty straightforward like that. Where the Sunless became a little bit more interesting with the bone walls and the adds and such. Where the Claw of Jormag, the dragon we are fighting right now, has a lot of things that can pretty much kill you if you don't watch out. Now if you are a ranged character, you have a bit of an advantage due to the range. And if you are a melee character such as me, that doesn't really like range, the only range attack a Guardian has that is reliable and constant is the Scepter. And I don't like that weapon. So you will find me usually in the back right here fighting all the crystals that you need to take down, and of course all those adds, because you don't want them to grow in numbers, otherwise you get attacked from a dragon, and of course all those adds that will kinda hurt because they are all veterans, and it becomes worse while you progress in the fight. Now this is the beginning stage. It speaks for itself basically. There are two types of AoE the boss does. There's this wave of ice spikes that will push you all the way back if you get caught in it, and of course those basically these ice nukes which kind of hurt, which go in the same pattern as the waves. And then you have all these adds, of course, in addition to the ice crystals that you have to take out just to make sure that those cannons don't die and keep working. And this is a very good job for the melee classes for one very specific and very good reason. If you look at the boss in a minute, you will see that the entire floor around the wall itself is blue. The ground is blue, and this blue area is basically damage. If you are going to stand in there, you will take a very powerful dot. And me being a stubborn guardian that I am, I kind of figured, let's just see how long I can live through it. But you'll definitely see in this video that standing in that blue stuff gives you a dot, and it ticks rather powerful, so you can't stay constantly in there trying to hit the wall, which is why the ranged can stand on a safe distance and be, well, safe, and that is why they have the advantage. But once you get the wall down, Jormag does get stunned, or at least the lieutenant of Jormag does get stunned, which means you can do some damage on him, but as you can see he just flies up rather quickly, which means you will have to retreat all the way to the base camp until he gets brought down again by those cannons. And those cannons, you don't have to control them, they control themselves, so once he gets down again and you break the wall again, which mainly has to be done by the ranged DPS once again, but as you can see right here, I am being a stubborn and potentially a stupid guardian, because as you can see there's no melee characters next to me, beside that one that just got downed. And you can definitely tell by the damage that I'm taking that it's not a place that I want to be. Because if you get caught in that AoE in addition to the dots, you get downed relatively quickly, but once again it's a world boss anyway, so if you get down on a somewhat safe position, you will get rest or brought back up quite fast regardless. And then you don't want to go back in directly, but you do want to get as much damage in as you can, while you can of course. So definitely worth taking a ranged weapon with you. And if you are a guardian, it's probably a better idea to have a staff with you as well, because then you're going to give all those ranged classes, you know, either light combo fields if you like that, if you like to put them down, perhaps fire combo fields, or of course just give them a straight up might buff, which kind of improves their damage, which is kind of a good thing, which I like to do in the second part of this fight, because there's an actual second part to the Claw of Jormag. Like, I figured at this stage this was pretty much it, and this is where the surprise sort of hit me, which was kind of nice. As you will see right now, we are currently walking back, waiting for the second part, and while we get at the cannons, you will definitely see it takes a little bit longer, and you will have an NPC saying some stuff like the cannons have been adjusted, and suddenly a rain of flag just goes to the sky and the dragon falls down. Look at that. That just looks pretty badass, doesn't it? So he goes to an actual different location. I figured he will just go jump back to the original location. No, you actually have to fight him on a different position, which is kind of an awesome thing, but the entire tactic does fundamentally change somehow, because as you can see, there's no wall right now anymore. So theoretically, you should be able to attack him right now. Once again, the entire room right now is also covered in blue stuff, which is bad. You can't really stand there for much longer than you could previously, and due to the fact that this is a lot more of it, you can't really do a whole lot as a melee character. What you do have to do is take out those spikes. Those spikes will block golems, and those golems, they bring the bombs that are required to stun Jormag, so you can do some proper damage on him. Now, I initially thought it was a bug, because I kind of figured you needed to use those bombs to break the wall, because there are some bugs regarding the NPCs. They say stuff that doesn't seem to be relevant, to say the least. But nonetheless, once you get stunned, you are able to do some damage as well, so there you go. And it's pretty straightforward from here on out. You still have to fight ads, but the ads that you will have to fight for the most majority of the time in this stage of the fight are champions. Straight up, big ass, dangerous champions that you do want to focus just a little bit so they don't, well, crush your entire team, because they are champions, they do hurt. And because everybody is so focused on the giant dragon that is trying to kill everybody, everybody forgets about the entire tactic. Which of course is taking out those champions and making sure those spikes are being downed as well. Because if you are not killing those spikes, the bombs won't stun Jormag, and your ability to do damage to Jormag reduces dramatically. So those are the things you pretty much have to keep in mind. So keep out of the blue stuff unless you are an idiot like I am doing right now. You can definitely see the damage I'm taking is not something to be, well, something to be scared of, I should say. Not something to be not scared of, because it does do a lot of damage. Nonetheless, you can definitely see that those golems are working their way up to Jormag, and they just fall apart, which basically means they have placed a bomb. And then, once, I believe there are 3 bombs required to stun Jormag. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I kind of picked up during the fight. And then he just stuns, and then you basically go in again and fight him and do as much damage as you can in as little as time that you have. But this is a very good example of the champion standing at the safe spot for the ranged characters. Once again, ranged characters do have an advantage. So you basically want to try and take him out, but they are very tanky. You don't take him out as easily as you potentially want them to. And due to the fact that they are standing on a safe spot, you can understand why having such a champion standing there could be a problem for your DPS or your damage dealers. Now you can also definitely tell there's also fear involved. There's also in the first stage, I kind of forgot to show you guys that. There's a fear sometimes when he screeches or he roars, the dragon roars, I don't know. When he makes that sound, you will get feared and such. But it's nothing really to be afraid of, it's just something that will walk you back. And considering you shouldn't be standing there in front of the gates or too close at this stage of him anyway, that fear doesn't really matter. But if you want to have something protecting you against it, you can do it. It does work to my knowledge, but once again, you just want to do as much damage as you can in as little time as you have. And once you succeed, as I am not mistaken, right now should be the time. If I'm not mistaken, Jormag dies, you get a nice big ass chest that has potential good loot for you. And that is pretty much it for the world boss. I do think that this world boss is the first good example of what a world boss should be, even if it's just a level 50 world boss. Like, world bosses, in my opinion, should be long fights with a lot of people required, and they should be having several different tactics that are required to do perfectly, otherwise you just put yourself at such a big ass disadvantage that the fight might just not work out that well. Anyway, let me know what you think, and I will catch you guys next time. Take care.